Hey, there we go. Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the BAMF podcast. I am your host, Mike Lafferty. And Ron, this is a new thing we have to do. We're contractually obligated to play this little audio-visual intro just to assure people that we are a high production value professional operation. So just give me a second. There we go, folks. Sorry about that. This is the BAMF podcast. I'm your host, Mike Lafferty. Over here on this side is Christopher McLaughlin. How you doing, Chris?
I'm as well as a man who spent an entire week watching Andy Milligan films can be.
I got nothing. All right, that's cool. Directly beneath me is Jacob Blackman. How you doing, Mr. Blackman?
I am well today.
All right, good to see you, sir. And last but not least, Ron is a bona fide comics legend who every once in a while graces our little dog and pony show and provides a patina of respectability. So, Mr. Marz, thank you for showing up, sir. It's always a pleasure.
It's Patina's my nickname, just so. My parents wanted a girl, but you know.
I shouldn't have people funnier than me on this show. It's awesome. So hey, we're talking about Ron's new book today, but first we're gonna do a quick comic review. Jacob, you recently read The Marvels by Kurt Bouziak. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, specifically, I wanted to discuss The Marvels issue 3, which is the most recent issue. It just came out yesterday.
Okay.
The Marvels is a series that is written by Kurt Bouziak, much in the same manner of his Astro City series. Only this series takes place, of course, in the Marvel Universe. The idea is any character, any time, any happening. And he's tying together a story that takes place in a fictional country that is called Sing Kong, which is located in Southeast Asia, and various things that are happening over history in the Marvel Universe. This particular issue is magnificent in its story, and encompasses the things that I love about Kurt Bouziak's writing. The fact that he draws on some of the more obscure elements of the Marvel Universe to fashion a fun and interesting story. I'm going to spoiler the hell out of this for you because otherwise I can't do this credit. But the whole idea is this issue takes place before the Fantastic Four have had their accident, so it's really before the Marvel Universe has become the Marvel Universe. It's after World War II. The way they talk about things, they're talking about it like it's sometime between the Korean War and the Vietnam War. And they're trying to make sure that this fictional country of Sing Kong doesn't become the next Korea. And so they have Reed Richards and Ben Grimm there as scientific advisors, and they bring in a bunch of other scientific advisors like George Tarleton, who, if you don't know that name, he's the guy who becomes MODOK. A French scientist by the name of Alan Racine, who is this obscure superhero by the name of Peregrine. And they're supposed to be investigating all these monster sightings, because something that happened in the 1950s with Marvel was monster comics. They would create giant monsters and give them names like Guru and Gomdula and all these strange things. So they're incorporating what happened in that era, and they're trying to make sure the Russians don't get involved. Of course they do. So we see characters like the Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier show up. They are also talking about how there might be aliens showing up, and of course we see things like the Deviants and various other factions. And it is just such a wonderful story that integrates all these characters, both popular and totally obscure, that shows what a master Kurt Busiek is in his writing. And it's stuff like that why I really love his stories, like Astro City, Thunderbolts, his run on Adventures, and all that. I highly recommend you pick up the Marvels, and it's just great.
All right, cool. Well, hey, thanks very much. I appreciate that. I've been a fan of Bouziak for years and years. His JLA Avengers run was kind of legendary.
Oh, yeah.
But boy, is that 20 years ago now? It can't be 20 years ago now.
Oh,
Almost.
close to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I owned a comb back then.
All right, Ron, let's talk about your book. And you guys are doing something interesting. You're crowdfunding, but it's this brand new platform that I had literally never heard of before you guys were doing this book. It's called Zoop. And I'll throw the link for your book up on the screen. It's zoop.gg/c/resolution. Can you, and this is kind of a return to, a lot of people know you originally from, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, sort of a cosmic themed character back in the day. This is kind of a return to those old stomping grounds. Can you give us the elevator pitch on this one?
The elevator pitch, the shortest version of the elevator pitch that we have is it's Unforgiven meets the Green Lantern Corps. Or the Nova Corps, or whatever cosmic team you would like to fill in there. It's like, as you said, it's on a new platform called Zoop, which is a comic-centric funding platform. I know Jordan from Zoop, Jordan Plosky, and a while ago he had reached out to me to say, hey, we're doing this, we're starting a new platform. We're starting a platform that is going to be comic focused, unlike Kickstarter or Indiegogo, which of course have comics, but have everything else under the sun too. Games, films, you name it, you can crowdfund it on those platforms. Zoop is intended to be almost exclusively comics. Maybe at some point down the road there'll be a little bit more expansion, but for now it's a comic funding, it's a comic centric platform. So we thought we'd give it a try. So I pulled together Andy Lanning, who I've been doing some co-writing with, who is also an excellent inker. And we pulled in Rick Leonardi, who I work with all the time. And Andy had actually inked Rick on a short story, and it was a delightful combination. So we thought, well, if we get the three of us, we've got the writer, the penciler, and the inker all taken care of. The kernel of the idea was really Andy's, and then we kind of tinkered it together, hammered it together, pulled in Rick. Rick has done some amazing character designs, as you can see, and he's working on the first few pages of the graphic novel. So the idea here is to kind of take the audience on the journey with us as we put this thing together, both on the platform and afterwards, to include the audience in the making of this book over the next few months, until we are ready to release it. It'll be an oversized hardcover graphic novel. The delivery date is March of 2022, so we're giving ourselves plenty of time to do the job right. So it's the package is hardcover graphic novel, a companion booklet book, I should say, at comic size that sort of chronicles the experience of putting the story together. It's the process book, the behind the scenes book, with the script and layouts, pencils, designs, inks, colors, just the whole process of putting this book together will be in the companion volume. And then we also have a portfolio that is offered as well, that will be stocked with images from, frankly, all of our friends that we could put the arm on and have them contribute. So Liam Sharp, Phil Jimenez, Paul Pelletier, Ron Lim, Bart Sears, Derek Robertson, and a host of others who will be contributing pieces to the portfolio. So that's it's kind of the equivalent of getting together with your friends and putting on a show in the backyard.
Nice.
I'm loving the art that I see in this. Some of these images are just gorgeous.
That Rick Leonardi, he's okay. The best advice I can give any writer in comics is to ride the coattails of your artist, because that's what people show up for.
Yeah, I was reading the brief details of this on Zoop, and yeah, it sounds a lot like you say, Green Lantern Corps meets Unforgiven. That's a really cool concept.
We went through a few iterations as Andy and I kicked stuff back and forth. I'm on Skype with Andy virtually every day because we're working on a couple of different projects together, and we thought, well, we'll just add this one to the pile. And it's I've known Andy for 25 years at least, and he's a guy that he has the same story sensibility as I do, and so we put our heads together on a number of different projects. DC's Endless Winter crossover back in December was a Justice League story that spanned 9 issues, I think. Yeah, 9 issues sounds right. For the month of December, we're working on another graphic novel project that's not announced yet, and a number of things actually that aren't announced yet. So this is another one where it's kind of you're getting 2 brains for the price of one. And then when we brought Rick into it shortly thereafter, it's really kind of 3 brains, because Rick's not just a guy that you hand the script to and say, draw this. Rick brings ideas and designs and a lot of thought to his end of it as well. So as Rick is doing designs, the story is being formed as we go, and we can react to ideas that Rick has about what her desolate homeworld looks like and what the villain is like. So the whole thing is evolving sort of organically.
Cool. And I see you've got some nice add-ons, like for the paltry sum of $250, people can do a meet and greet with Ron Marz and Andy at Landing with the sketch, 30-minute Zoom session. That's pretty cool.
We'll tell you stories. We'll tell you stories that we're not supposed to tell people. We've got the general rewards of the hardcover oversized graphic novel, the companion, and the portfolio. But then there's the more exotic stuff. Rick and Andy are both doing sketches. You can have your book signed. The cover art is available for a princely sum. The double page spread that we just put up is available. And in this case, when you buy the original art, you get 2 pieces of art. You get Rick's original pencils and you get Andy's inks, because they are done separately. Rick is in the Philadelphia area and Andy is outside of London. So rather than shipping the originals back and forth, Rick does his pencils, scans them in at high resolution, sends them to Andy. Andy prints the pencils out on blue line and he inks the blue line. So you actually will have the pencil original and the ink original as part of the package.
Understood. Got to just take a moment. This double page spread you just put up, I think, in the last 24 hours on this page. This just looks amazing.
Yeah, like I said, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
And look, I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this for 30 years plus, and still the biggest thrill is when the email. For those of us that are old enough, you've got mail. When the email goes off and you've got a new page in there that you can check out immediately from Rick Leonardi, it's still like opening a box on Christmas morning. That's still the thrill of this whole process to me is the stuff that was in my head and in Andy's head, now made real on the page, and almost always made much better than it looked in our heads.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things about collaborating with artists is getting to see a picture like that show up, I gotta think. So for $250, get you and Andy in a private Zoom call telling me just all Grant Morrison drinking stories, or can you give us a sneak peek of what that might be? Or
we have one.
I'm kidding.
We do have one of those.
Okay.
I I have some cross-gen stories that I can't repeat. Can't repeat for if it's being recorded. There's a lot.
I'm interested in those.
There's a lot of deep dark secrets that that for the right price we'll gladly share.
So what's Frank Miller really like? No, it's okay. We don't have to get into that. But well, cool. Yeah, I'm a backer, and I would encourage everyone else to check this out. And you've got a lot of time ahead of you. You've got 20 days left. So
yeah, we've got a ways to go. We've got but we've got 20 days. So little by little, we knew it would be. This is a different experience because people are used to Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. People know how the Kickstarter interface works, and they're aware of how to navigate a page on Kickstarter and all that. So we knew there would be a learning curve with this, and we're putting the work in to make sure that we spread the word, get people to the page, let people know how to navigate the page. You have to scroll down to see the original art rewards and the sketches and all that kind of stuff. So it's a learning experience for everybody as we go along. But hopefully we get over the top and can make this book for you guys and get it into your hands in March.
Sweet. All right. Looks really cool. I've been talking a lot this time. Chris, Jacob, do you guys have any questions? Any patter you want to jump in with?
I'm just curious about the story, but I don't think he wants to ruin that for the people who are actually going to buy the comic.
Well, we're not gonna tell you the how it ends, but the basics of the story is the main character is named Zan Maddox. She's the greatest, or at least one of the greatest heroes of a cosmic team called the Resolute. The Resolute are empowered by an alien race called the Hilt, and those members of the Resolute are called Blades. They are granted energy powers, weapons that they can materialize, and they are implanted with material that they can generate their suit. They can generate their powers. That's not a pleasant process. That's something that happens to them if they're of the right genetic material from any planet in the galaxy. You're pulled into this service, and that's your life. So Zan Maddox was, amongst the greatest members of the Resolute ever, the greatest of the Blades. She has tragedies in her past and has left service to go live a kind of a solitary life on a remote planet where there are gravity oceans that she basically works as a fisherman, which are these amazing sort of Mobius type visuals that Rick came up with that we were kind of like, well, geez, does she, maybe we should just do like the entire graphic novel of her just like hanging out on this planet and like floating oceans above her. That's a piece by Greg Broadmoor, who's a buddy of ours who works at Weta in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. So this sort of solitary, almost monastic life that she lives is interrupted by people from her past who come to seek her out, to say that her arch nemesis, the warlord villain, who we actually have a design for as well, has been found, and he is that's a Paul Pelletier pinup that will be in the portfolio, inks by Andy Lanning. Paul got his done in a hurry, and obviously Paul put a little bit of work into his. When he sent me that piece, he put a note on it that said, "Man, I'm just stupid."
Can you tell us who these big Kirby-esque monstrosities are that we're looking at are?
Those are just things that Paul made up. When we lured our buddies in to do portfolio pieces, the instructions are really just draw whatever you want. Draw something cool. Here's the basic background of all these characters. Draw what everything is cool. So Zan Maddox's arch nemesis is a warlord who wanted to recreate the universe, to a certain extent, kind of a Thanos type character, although he's human looking. We do have a couple of character designs for him in the Rick design section on the page, and he's, there's a bounty on his head. If they can bring him in, there's riches and rewards for everybody. So Zan Maddox is faced with the choice of kind of going back to that life in order to basically make bank, to put cash in her hands and in the hands of the people who came to her. Should she do that, or should she just ignore it and stick to the life she's led so far? So that decision that she makes kind of dictates where the rest of the story goes. And that decision dictates where the rest of the series goes, because we'd like to keep doing these graphic novels, maybe at least one a year, and tell the true breadth and scope of the story that we want to tell.
Sweet. I'm guessing this guy here in the double page spread, that's is his name Tao?
That's our guy, yeah.
Okay.
So he's the bad guy, and to a great extent he is Rick's design. I mean, we put design notes. We've got a big design document. Google Docs is the greatest thing ever invented if you're collaborating with people.
That's super handy.
And put a bunch of notes in, and Rick read all the notes and kind of came up with his own thing and said, "Is this okay?" And we went, "Yeah, we think that'll do. That'll be just fine." So this is actually a flashback image in the story. Mm-hmm. This is an image that goes back to Zan Maddox's glory days as a hero. So part of the story is told in the past, and the rest is told in the present. And there will be some color differences in those sequences to further contrast what's past and what's present. Our colorist is Andrew Dahlhaus, who is a terrific colorist with a bunch of DC credits and Valiant credits under his belt, and he's going to be a great fit with what Rick and Andy do.
Sweet. Yeah, it just looks amazing. It's going to be hard waiting a whole year to see the book, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we gave ourselves until March to deliver it, because as somebody said to me in the store the other day, God willing and the creek don't rise, everything goes according to plan. But having been involved with Kickstarter projects before, something always goes, if not wrong, something goes awry. Acts of God and acts of the calendar, and I don't know, pandemics.
What? Just to name something.
Just to give an example. So we wanted to make sure that if we say it's going to be ready in March, it'll be ready in March. And all things being equal, we'd love to have it ready sooner than that. We would love to have it done substantially before that, but you never know. I mean, Rick and I are also in the closing stretches of a graphic novel for Naval Institute Press called Blue Angel, so that's got to be finished up, and then we'll get back to these pages. So we gave ourselves enough time to know that even with things going awry, we're going to be able to meet our self-imposed deadline. But like I said, everything goes the way we would like it to go. It'll be in your hands before then. Although the one big oddity of this whole thing is, if you need to send a book to press somewhere in the neighborhood of the holidays, things tend to get snarled up really, really good. Because everybody is printing stuff before Christmas to get books into stores, and then there's a huge lag to get caught up on after Christmas. So you can conceivably send a book off to be printed late November and not get it back until February, just because that's the way the printer's schedule rolls sometimes. So knowing that those pitfalls are out there, we gave ourselves the runway to make sure that we can nail this down the way we want to.
All right, cool. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it and hope to see many sequels. Just to sum up, that is Ron's latest book. You can find it zoop.gg/c/resolution, new comics funding, comics crowdfunding platform. Whew, that was a mouthful. I feel a little tired now that I said all that at once. But, Ron, it is always a pleasure having you on, sir. Thanks for stopping by. I know you're very busy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's I am indeed very busy. My plate is a little bit more full than it probably should be, but like I said, that's those are first world problems. I'm enjoying everything I'm working on, and I am enjoying everybody I'm working with. So these are blessings, not curses, and I'm happy to have them. So I appreciate you guys giving me time, and I appreciate everybody taking a look at Resolution. It's one that we're excited about. There's always jobs, that you do where you're like, okay, that sounds kind of fun. And that sounds kind of fun, and they'll pay me. So let's do that. This is one that's really for the love of it and for the pleasure of working with your friends. So we're gonna do everything we can to pull this one off.
Yeah, sounds good. And if nobody minds, I have to play that very professionally produced musical audiovisual outro. So just a second. Hopefully everyone is convinced that we're a professional operation. And thanks for checking out the BAMF podcast. We will catch you next time.